the thing that I really hate about this entire situation, and let's push the YMCA to the side for a second. Annapolis doesn't care about St. Mary's County. And we have to get that through our heads.
Wow. Wait,
They
that's a
do
quote.
not-
That's going to be your quote. We're going to drop
Do
that one.
not care about St. Mary's County. We are your concerned citizens, empowering the people, igniting change. We're going to go around the horn and introduce our concerned citizens from St. Mary's County. We're going to start with you, Mr. Russell.
Yeah, so I'm Brandon Russell. I am one of hopefully many concerned citizens here in St. Mary's County. I ran for county commissioner last year and follow local politics and government decisions and try to keep people informed on my Facebook page, Brandon for St. Mary's. So check it out if you haven't already.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Mr. Hill.
My name is Chris Hill, and I am the realtor from St. Mary's County here with Century 21. And I, too, am a concerned citizen. And as I said, maybe previously before, I'm sitting here in a torrential thunderstorm just to bring good information and opinions to you guys.
Dedication.
That's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna stick it out here in this lightning storm.
Hey, and you guys really want to tune in today. We got some real heated debates to discuss today.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, man. Drama.
Yeah.
And I am BJ Hall, also a concerned citizen right here in St. Mary's County. And I too ran for county commissioner. One of the funnest things and one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever done. Knocking on doors and talking to strangers when you're not really a people person. Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll experience that.
Come through.
Yeah,
We can have a concerned takeover.
Right. There's all sorts of local and state positions that come up occasionally that need to be,
Oh, that was a nugget.
No, it was not.
Mm-hmm.
Roger that. All right. Still getting to know each other. We're going to go around the horn, same direction. I know I love to drink a little bit responsibly.
Right.
Responsibly. We're going to talk about our favorite drinks. Please tell me your favorite drink, Mr. Russell.
Oh, well, I don't drink very often, but my favorite adult beverage, I would say, is probably something with whiskey. So I do enjoy an old fashioned from time to time. I do just like whiskey with a mixer or just by itself sometimes if it's that good. Keep it simple.
Yeah. I too am I love a bourbon, an old fashioned. That's kind of my thing. I like a good bourbon. I will tell you, we should get together and have a cocktail because there's some really good things going on in Leonardtown. There's some really great cocktails over there. But I like a good old fashioned. I love a smoked old fashioned where they smoke it because you get the smoke flavor in it. But I'll tell you, recently I've got a new little favorite I'll share real quick. I've been drinking this whiskey. It's a dough ball. It's cookie dough whiskey.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. Nice. It's really sweet. And yeah, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. I like it.
Where you get that? Where did you get it?
Local. You can get it anywhere.
In California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to disclose my favorite liquor store.
We need to go talk to them and tell them we were talking about them.
That's a sponsor.
It's good stuff. And by the way, if they want to sponsor our show, Dough Ball Whiskey, feel free. Give us a call, email us. We'll get you on. We'll get you on here.
I too am a brown liquor man, and old fashioned is actually my drink of choice. I like a good scotch. I'm on that Caribbean cast right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's a 14-year Caribbean cast, that Balvenie.
Scotch is a little harsh for me. I don't know.
You haven't had that Caribbean cat.
Maybe not.
I got a little bit over here. If I need to stop by your office,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
do. I mean, you do.
All right. Since the last time we spoke, a couple of bills have snuck by, are up to 1699 in the House and 1365 on the Senate side. So they had two emergency bills that passed through in the past week. Um, one of them is near and dear to us. We have HB 1301. If you were with us a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the nursing home issue that we've had in Charlotte Hall, the veterans retirement home. What's the proper way to say it?
Yeah.
But HB 1301 it deals with state-owned nursing homes, deficiency citations, and fines, contractor reporting requirements. Brandon, can you give us a quick synopsis?
Yeah, so HB 1301 in the House, it has a cross file from Senator Bailey. Delegate Crosby sponsored it in the House. The Senate bill is 974, which has passed first reading in both chambers. So it passed out of the Senate. Now it's over to the House side. And this bill basically puts a little bit of oversight on state-owned nursing facilities. So it's going to require any contractors that are operating a state-owned facility to report deficiencies found or enforcement actions taken by a monitoring agency to the governor, to the state agency that's overseeing the nursing home, and to the delegates or senator representing the district where the nursing home is located. And then in addition to that, it's going to require a handful of state, Senate, and House committees to be notified of those same things. And once that notification is put forward, the contractor that operates the nursing home also needs to have a plan ready to go to address whatever issues were found at the time of inspection. So it looks like it's going to address a bunch of stuff here.
What do you guys
Was
think?
there any requirement to report out to the counties, or just the delegates and Senate?
There was no requirement to report to county leadership, but I do know that when the commissioners met, I think it was just this past Tuesday, that they wrote a letter of support for this bill, including putting an amendment on there that local governments would be informed as well.
Good.
Roger that.
That sounds. You know what? My opinion is, I love it. You know,
Yeah.
I know that doesn't fall in line with what I would normally say. I mean, so much oversight and stuff, but this is an important issue, right? Like, I mean, we need some oversight on this, and I think that's what, if it comes from the state, at least it's coming from somewhere.
Well, I guess it depends on what the reporting requirement is, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Because a lot of reports are done. Who's actually reading those reports, and then how do you understand severity? Like, I mean, it's good to see that something is being done, but I'm not 100% sure that this answers the mail, because I mean these are complaints that go up the chain. It's not like they weren't reported in through some system. It's not like the governors and the senators and delegates will be reading these reports. So it'll probably go up in a similar fashion, and there'll be a report available to these people, to our representation. But I'm not 100% sure that this is good enough.
Yeah, I think bottom line is that this basically takes away the opportunity for the governor or delegates, senators to say, "Oh, well, we didn't know this was happening."
Yeah.
Because that's what apparently was going on with this most recent situation. Nobody knew about it. And so I do think that I actually am supportive of the idea of making sure that local governments are informed too, because they're a lot closer to the issue. And so, maybe as part of that, if the local health department, did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a storm.
Yeah.
Watch out now.
Start ducking. But I think in addition to local government, if the local health department can be involved with that process as well, because, being that we're localized and we can be closer to the issue, it may, help to provide a faster response to making sure that people are not being mistreated.
Yeah.
It could be a part of that the health department reporting process as well, being that Dr. Brewster comes in and she already presents a report. I mean, it could just be like the back page of her report, kind of summarizing some of the issues they're dealing with in Charlotte Hall.
I mean, I think it's a I don't think it's a horrible. I think it's a good first step, maybe, like just to, maybe there's always stuff that can be tweaked and added to it. I mean, I don't know. I think we got to do something, and let's start with that.
This is an odd take for you, because every time we try to get a foot in the door, you say, "What is this really doing?" It's like, "Oh my God!"
I know you guys know darn well that I'm going to get some crap for this, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know it. But the truth is, it is what it is. I mean, like, I think we need to have something like that, and I think it makes sense a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong, but we got to have something. So let's start somewhere. And
let's start somewhere.
Let's start somewhere, right?
And I think it would be very helpful too. And I mean, I'm sure this information is out there, but I don't know to what what effect people actually know about it. But if there is, a way to make sure people know, hey, this is your point of contact. If you have a family member in
like
the veterans home,
advocate or something, right?
Yeah, you can call, the ombudsman for senior residents, or you can call this person, and that person is local. I think would be very helpful too. And I'm sure something like that exists in some form, but that's a big part of it, because a lot of times, you get these reports going up to the state level, or you make a report yourself by calling in, and where does that really go? How do you really follow up with it? It just doesn't happen.
No, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
True story.
But
well, at least that they followed through, because last week I was a little worried. I'm like, y'all only got a few days left, so when are you actually going to put something on paper?
Yep.
All right, we got more exciting bills to talk about, though, don't we? Are we there yet?
Oh yeah.
We're definitely there. See, look at you, boy. You
chomping at the bit.
I am.
He's willing to take foots in the door and feet in the door.
I love it. Let's go.
All right. So we're going to start with a clip with this one. Things got a little heated down in Annapolis.
I mean, you could have expected it getting heated in Annapolis these last few days before sign die, right? Or we don't even know how to say it, right? I don't even know how to say it. Is sign die? Is that right?
Signy die.
Signy die. Whatever. It's Anyway, you could have expected to get heated these last few days.
But see, I would never expect our good man, Delegate Matt Morgan, to get heated on the floor.
He's going to love hearing that, by the way.
A 458 bill that has the funding for the YMCA by itself has a matching fund request of $4 million. That's it. Now, I don't know why that is unreasonable and not so much of a problem here. Because at my time in Annapolis, the House Appropriations Committee has done hundreds of bond bills with matching requests. But for some reason, when the St. Mary's delegation does it, well, we're demonized. Our motives were impugned on this floor yesterday. That's unacceptable. If anybody wants to use this time, they should stand up and probably apologize for the comments that were made towards me and my county and our delegation yesterday. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how he feels.
That's how he feels. And you know what? Here we go. This is where we start. I agree with Matt Morgan. I agree. What's wrong with the matching requirement? What's the problem with that? It was a plan all along. I don't understand what just happened here. And then it looks like it's backhanded politics that took place. No matter who did it, like we know who, but no matter who did it, it looks like backhanded politics. And if you're going to operate that way in Annapolis, how are you representing your constituents? Just saying.
I like to plead the fifth on this one because I'm
No, I mean, come on. This is a
no,
no-brainer, right?
well,
We've debated the YMCA and I listened to I listened to the whole thing twice now. And I got to tell you, the comments that came out after that, not cool.
no.
Not cool. There was a lot of race baiting. Just put it out there. That's what it was.
Well, one of the things that I think is really missing from the conversation is how we ended up getting here to the YMCA. It was like
Right.
this wasn't supposed to be a YMCA. The only reason why public funds were even in the conversation was because it was supposed to be a community center.
Right.
And so the conversation that was initiated by a lot of the minority community was in support of a community center that evolved into a YMCA.
Right.
Now, a lot of people on that we still are in support of the YMCA, and I don't want anything. Hold up, let me make sure I say this because when we started talking about how this happened, this needs to be stated. The outcome is good. The YMCA
Yeah.
money is there. The outcome is good. That needs to be stated. We're getting our YMCA, and I'm
Well,
happy about
as
that.
long as this bill passes the Senate, right?
Well, it's going back into was it
Is it going back into committee?
yeah, yeah, they it has to be reviewed by the original house.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. First of all, I think we talked about this a little bit before the show today, but I think we kind of did predict this a little bit,
I
right?
think
Because
so too.
back in our earlier episode when we talked about these funding requirements, these stipulations were already in existence at the local level.
Yeah.
And so all of this splitting the bill and putting it in writing at the state level, and it really wasn't necessary. I think it was a move to kind of just get that little bit of control over the process where the funding is concerned. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I don't think it was necessary either. But for anyone who hasn't, watched the debate there's a clip from yesterday and a clip from today about this bill. It's very worthwhile to watch. It's probably 20 minutes total for both clips. Yeah. But there are a couple of things that stuck out to me. First of all, from today's floor debate, Matt Morgan said, he started off by saying that the funding for this and the YMCA and all this, it wasn't even on the delegation's radar, which I don't believe for a hot minute. They knew that the conversation was happening. I'm sure that they had an idea that it was going to be coming up in a bond request. And so the fact that, they didn't know about it until it got presented at the joint meeting of the delegation and the commissioners, I just don't buy it. The other thing, stipulations were in place at the county level. So I think I said this when we talked about it before, it's almost like the delegation was second guessing the decision that the commissioners had already committed to in supporting the YMCA project. And the third thing was that when Delegate Crosby made his comments during today's floor debate, he said something about the community center idea. And he said that he brought up that it did evolve from a community center and that he agreed with Todd Morgan, who was the commissioner at the time, and said that he didn't like the idea of committing funding every year in the county's budget for recurring costs of a community center. And so this was the compromise, that the county would help fund the YMCA, and then the YMCA would take over operating expenses after the place was built. So I don't know. I'm glad, like you said, BJ, I'm glad that this is the funding is going to be there. We're going to see this step taken to move forward. But all this back and forth, I mean, come on, y'all could have passed like 5 more bills in the 20 minutes you were talking about this nonsense. It's just all posturing, and I just can't stand that.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that before. Like, we do have to get past some of that posturing. But I think what it boils down to is like, the frustration actually actually, you know what I think it is? I really think it's because they didn't really know that was coming. I think they really did I think they got blindsided. The Republicans will say the Republican delegation got blindsided by something. And that's, you know what, I know it's politics, right? I get it. Okay. But you're never going to gain trust amongst your people if you do things like that. You're just not, you know, and I don't think that's right. And look, here's the thing, regardless of what you feel about the funding for the YMCA and the money will be there, all that jazz, I get it. But there was some nastiness that came out after that stuff. And I saw some of the tweets and saw some of the stuff, you know, as far as I know, help me out here. I'm gonna be blunt. The YMCA isn't a racially centered facility, right?
Let me watch my language here. Nah, I have to be political with this. There's some benefits from the YMCA that will impact the most dense minority population in the county, because it will be in an area that's walkable to a large proportion of the minority population here in St. Mary's County.
Well, you know, there's also going to be some big new projects in the area as well that are going to bring different levels of housing to that area as well, and that's going to be a whole different thing.
You trying to get somebody mad at? I didn't say nothing about that.
Hey,
I
am not.
I got enough people mad at me around here. I ain't got nothing to do with.
Hey, I'm trying to get you on my team. You know, hey, look, I get people all the time saying, "Why'd you say that? Why'd you say that?" I don't know. I'm just saying what I think.
I'm team pool next to a pool. That's what team are you? No, but
I thought about making it one big pool. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I think they're gonna end up getting rid of the pool that we currently have. That joint is too much maintenance required for it. I mean, the thing that I really hate about this entire situation, and let's push the YMCA to the side for a second. Annapolis doesn't care about St. Mary's County, and we have to get that through our heads.
Wow! That's a quote. That's going to be your quote. We're going to drop that.
Do not care about St. Mary's County, and so what they just did bothers me, because my thing is, if somebody from St. Mary's County comes down here and say we have a bunch of racist people down here, you're down here. Maybe you know. But if somebody from Howard County, Prince George's County, who probably can't even point St. Mary's County out on a map, starts talking about the racial situation based off of the word of one delegate, that it's not fair. Right. Now, we got our problems.
But we got him going, Brandon.
I'm just saying.
Just back out of the way.
Yep.
I'm just saying, man, because I don't have a problem saying that there are racial issues, but the overuse and the unnecessary use of them, it happens way too much when it comes to St. Mary's County, and it's like we got problems, we got a lot of them, but it's like it's one of those things where Annapolis doesn't even care. Like, the funny part about it is, what really pisses me off about this one is we're talking about a YMCA when we had another bill that was up there talking about voting rights. Now that's a real issue. We're talking about voting. We're talking about a damn YMCA. I was like, yeah, I care about the YMCA and that helps, but what about our voting rights? It's like you don't care about those. It was like, so you want to care about this building? If you really care about the black people in St. Mary's County, care about my voting rights.
You know, that's what we talked about this every time. We are so much smarter than this. Why are we're sent, you know, these things that are coming back from Annapolis, this is bull.
Eyewash.
Hogwash.
Yeah, it's a very good point that we couldn't get 447, 655, whatever you want to call it, to go anywhere with voting rights. And that, in my opinion, also is a much bigger issue. You're talking about representation of people. And I think that, is a much bigger issue that the legislature just chose not to deal with, because maybe it was too sensitive. Maybe it was going to make animosity between the
You know what?
delegates and the senators. But the other part of this, too, that I find really interesting is, well, before I get to that, let me just also add, I think that it's another valid point you made, BJ, about people in Annapolis don't know what St. Mary's County really is like, and you can't base it off of one delegate because, you know, from my side of things, Matt Morgan is my delegate. I live in his district, and he does not represent a lot of what I stand for and believe in. And so if I were to have people in Annapolis say, oh, well, everybody in that guy's district believes the same thing that that guy does, that would misrepresent me, you know?
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. But I think the real interesting part about all this is the fact that when you tie the 447 aspect of it together with them arguing about, well, this project is going in your district, this project is going in your district. Doesn't that sound a little familiar about some of what we were trying to get past with 447? There's that thunder again.
Yeah, that's our signal. There's something going on. Look, he's like, "You bingo, bingo."
That was God putting an exclamation point on what you just said.
It just rang a little too familiar for me when I was watching the floor debate on this issue.
Let me. I want to get back to one more thing before on this bill. Like, it's something that gets me. I don't. It sounds like, from what I understand, that the matching. What's it called? The matching requirement, right? So whatever this matching requirement that they had that mysteriously is disappeared from this, right? Is that that's the way we understand. Why is that such a bad thing? It sounds like they do it everywhere.
No, he was saying that it happens from time to time. I think it's more of a don't handcuff this money. Don't handcuff the money to the state. And I can see the validity in that argument, but it's just, this it's a procedural thing to me. And I just hate when Annapolis has the ability to tell St. Mary's how we can get our money.
Well, this was the YMCA had to match it, right? Is that what I'm understanding? Like the
YMCA has to fundraise. See, and let me touch this. Well, hold up. Let me go further than that. It's like, if you remember what he said yesterday, what Matt Morgan said yesterday, we're the only ones that have to pay. We're the only publicly funded YMCA. There was only one other. There was only one other county that actually had to put money up, but they put money up to secure it and got their money back.
Well, hold on. So the YMCA is a business, right?
See.
Okay. So they're a business. And they make money, right? And we're gonna fund their business.
No, we're gonna fund their building.
Okay. Well, I want a building. I want my own building.
I do too, for real. It's a Ford building down there on Great Mills. If you can hook me up.
Let's go. I think there's some requirements here that need to be met to show the validity of any business that they're invested in it just like anybody else. And for them to take that away in this bill unexpectedly, and see, we have a code of ethics in real estate, right? I feel like we ought to put a code of ethics on our delegations, like our delegates, right? You can have your own. This is your code of ethics. This is the procedure. You have to show it to but it makes no sense. And then, like Delegate Crosby said yesterday in his that it wasn't even it, or I think it was. I apologize if I'm misspoken, but it doesn't concern the other delegates. Isn't that what somebody said in it yesterday? Because the other,
I'm not sure it wasn't. I don't think it was him. I think
you're right. I apologize. Let me apologize in advance.
Yeah,
I don't want to throw Brian under the bus like that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but it was brought up that it doesn't affect the other delegates in the county. I'm like, wait a minute. Of course it does. That's why they're sent to represent our county, right? You know what I mean? Like,
well, and it's not, and people are expected to utilize it. People that are going down to the base, so it's like it's in a location, so you can go coming and going from the base. So it's and that's one of the added benefits. to having that YMCA in that location because it's convenient for families that are here working at the base, and they come from all of the districts and from other counties.
Yeah.
So
And the other part of it too is, with the talk about, well, it's not in your district, it's in my district, or that whole conversation is, a lot of times that kind of talk, people in 29A, where I'm at in the north part of the county, represented by Matt Morgan, when Matt is saying things about, this is further down south, what about people in my district? Well, yeah, what about people in your district? That is your job to get resources for your district. But don't pit us in your district against people in another district.
Okay.
Okay, let's realize that Lexington Park, as I heard at the town hall that Commissioner Ostro had, a person there stood up and said, Lexington Park is the center of the county. It's 20 miles from the Charlotte Hall area, and it's about 18 miles from Scotland. So when you look at it holistically, if Lexington Park is in the middle of the county, then that is where a good resource should go, because it benefits people, not only the larger population in that immediate area, but it distance-wise should be, a fair distance from people north and south county to make use of it. And I'm going to transition us. You ready for this?
come on.
And it also helps to not add to the stigma that surrounds Lexington Park Great Mills, which I saw conversations online about maybe that stigma has led to why Willows Rec Center is closing. What do we think about that?
I think, we all were on a text. The three of us were texting like, oh, maybe this is a great opportunity for the YMCA, that kind of thing. But, and we talked about it a little bit, but I'm concerned about this YMCA, but I mean, when we're buying a building for them, and you're right, I think you're right about the possibility of a stigma in some of those cases, and that could be a problem.
Talk about it. Well, it seems like you're tiptoeing, Chris.
Oh no, look, I don't tiptoe.
Walk flat-footed, sir.
Look, right,
Walk flat-footed.
I got a lot to carry, so I don't tiptoe. You ain't ever gonna see me tiptoe. In a million years, you won't. But
what's that stigma?
No. I think, and I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying from my experience is like, there's been, when you have the Willows Rec Center, right, and a building that I didn't, full disclosure, I don't even know where it is. I guess it's on Willows Road somewhere. I don't even know. I've seen it. I've been here a long time, and I just never really had the opportunity to use it or to utilize it in any way. And I think about that as like, I'm a concerned citizen of St. Mary's County. I never used Willow Rec Center. Never. Right. And did I do it on purpose? Right. Did I avoid it on purpose? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, do
you not have a need for it?
Well, I mean, my kids are grown, so probably not. It's like more of a youth kind of activity center. Right. I mean, I'm guessing because I haven't been there. But
you don't even know.
Time's running out, Chris. You got to go.
So check this out. All right. Let's
why did
just talk about the post.
Hold on. Why did it close?
Let me just talk about the post. I want to talk about that dang on post that Brandon put out there, and I wanted to jump on that post and just get loose on everybody on there, because I could just tell by the comments that everybody commenting in that thing had never been in there. And I'm just like, now everybody wants to be concerned about this resource that we're losing. You didn't care when it was here.
Right.
Why do you care that it's leaving? It's like, and so if you haven't seen the inside, it was like, why are you worried about it now? You had plenty of opportunity. It was like, and I've been in there. I've had events in that Joker. I've supported Knowledge Boxing in there. Pee Wee has all kind of tournaments down there. The basketball.
It's a great space.
It's a great space. It was like, it's one of those things where I'm just tired of everybody coming at the last minute saying we don't never keep anything in St. Mary's County when they stay up the road. It was like, you don't support anything in St. Mary's County. That's why we don't keep stuff here. And it's like we all become internet warriors when we lose something. It's like, help us keep it so we don't have to be an internet warrior. Why don't you come down there and stop typing on your keyboard and come do something out here in this? Support some of these folks.
See that you're raising a great point. And that's what I couldn't articulate it the same way, obviously, but I feel this. I'm concerned for the YMCA for the same reasons.
The YMCA is going to be a little different just because they have a program that's already established. Like so,
and they get a free building.
Trish,
wow, here we go.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is a plus because if Trish wasn't having to pay for the building, she probably wouldn't have this issue. So
I'm just saying
that is a valid point, but that's not where I was trying to go. But the thing about it is, I think if she had more support on the programmatic side, and some of the other amenities that were that are in that building, I think it would still be it could be successful. But it's one of those things where I don't think she had the proper support in setting it up as a recreational center. And it didn't help that she was when she got going, the pandemic came.
Yeah.
So, she could have built momentum. She couldn't build the same momentum that she would have if we didn't have that big pause right there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think this is such a good topic for us. I mean, and then we're gonna, the good news is, like you said, they'll get the money, or if it's the good news, however you want to look at it, if it's good news or not to you. But I don't know. I think I think we need to watch those kinds of buildings and those kinds of facilities and see what happens. Hopefully, I hope the YMCA is successful. I really do. I hope it brings something because it's a youth community kind of thing. I hope it brings something over there.
So let me put. I hate to be this person, right? Because I love.
Wait, we got you today.
Yeah. Fired up. So the construction planner in me pops up every time we look at this imaginary budget, because
right,
we keep on talking about how much it costs, how much it's going to cost, and I'm not 100% sure if people realize that we just went through a real serious bout of hyperinflation. It was like, so this estimate was done prior to the rise in prices. It's not like it didn't hit construction, and we haven't even put a shovel in the ground. And we're talking about putting a shovel in the ground in about a year and a half. You think the price is going to go down?
Right.
No. And we haven't done a proper estimate, because you're talking about doing construction over.
You don't even know what they're building yet. They don't even really know what they're building yet.
It's one of we don't know what the cost is, and that's the thing that bothers me about the number, is like more than anything else. And that was why I was kind of okay with the having the piece of legislation at the state level, because it would limit our exposure as a county. And it's like, then you would have to go to Annapolis to increase that amount, and we would have a little more leverage with the YMCA. And it's like, all right, cool, we're good, but we don't have that. We don't have that now, because it's going to be like FDR, double the price,
right?
Triple the price.
You're right. That's a really good point too.
It is a good point, but I mean, it also makes the onus be on the commissioners. They love to say they're fiscally responsible and they're doing the best to spend the money of the taxpayer. And so, they have some criteria in there that they only want to give 15 million, and that's it. And so it's up to them to hold the YMCA accountable to fundraising the rest. But I do agree.
Cut budgets elsewhere if they have to.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. We don't know what the final cost is going to be.
Yeah, I do too. Wow.
Yeah, man. Today was a hot one.
That was a good one.
It was.
With the thunder and lightning going in the background.
Yeah, everything in the background. Yeah, all three of us got it. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was a good heated debate. Now I need to go take a nap.
Well, we can only wait and see what happens. What else gets pushed through in these final days? Yeah. When is the cutoff? Is it the 10th? Yeah,
on
Monday. Well, until then, everybody stay informed,
stay engaged,
and stay empowered.
Love it.
Made us wait for it.
I know. Dramatic.
I was about to say stay engaged.